Hi everyone, how are you today? Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for day two of wellness. And today we are looking at relationships and how relationships actually affect our health and wellness. And for those of you who joined us yesterday, you remember we were talking about diets and wellness. So we'll go right ahead and dive in and hear what Daktari has for us. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, yesterday I had my friend Dr. Edna, who is a wellness expert, to come in and share with us the knowledge she has on wellness. And even as we are gearing towards Christmas and the festivities, we just wanted to share what we have about wellness so that even as we're making our New Year's resolutions, we can be doing that with the full knowledge of what we are doing because knowledge is everything. Sawa sawa. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Edna to join us for our broadcast and let's hear what she has for us today. Karibu sana daktari. How are you today?
Fine, 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 fine. How are you?
I'm good. How is the festive season coming up for you?
Let's just say I'm waiting for children to close school. Then I'll enter the festive season. Otherwise, I feel like the year has been quite something. I'm ready to
Yeah.
rest. Yeah.
2021 has been something, and of course, today our focus is on relationships, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to tell us. I mean, who knew that wellness and relationships go together?
Yeah.
Uh, I know, so I'd really like to know what uh, you have in store for us. So I'll give you an intro for a few minutes, and then I have a lot of questions. I know we are on for a very short time today because of the time, but let's see what we can pack in. Sawa sawa.
Okay. Fine.
Uh, so,
All
guys,
right.
this is Dr. Edna. As I had said, today we are working on relationships, and she will give us the introduction, and then from there we will see, we learn more as we continue along. So, Daktari, please take it away. I don't know why this today my it's called what? My knowledge is refusing. Like it's really refusing. I don't know, but
Technology.
yeah, we live and we learn.
That's technology for you. Well, okay. Maybe I can just begin because of the sake of time. I know it's quite strange to see us discussing this topic, and we're talking about wellness. But then, surprisingly, it's one of the major, I call it one of the key things that affect our well being. Because at the end of the day, wellness is about your well being. So, relationship is a very pivotal um, topic to handle, and it's a very pivotal thing to look at in terms of your overall well-being. Generally, because we as human beings were created to be social beings. That's who we really are. We are created to be social beings, and therefore we have a deep longing for connection. That's what we always look out for. You wake up in the morning, if it is your child you want to see, it's the connection you want to see. If it is your parents, you want to see, it's the same thing. If it's your spouse, if it is your friend. So we are human beings, and we have a deep need for connection, and we have the capability to build on strong relationships, and we are able to build different relationships at the same time. I'm talking about with parents, with friends, with spouses, with lovers, with children. We are very with colleagues. We are very capable of forming relationships and running all of them at the same time. So this is where even men can multitask. I know men have a problem multitasking, but we are created as social beings, and men and women can multitask in terms of relationships. So you'll have a relationship with your parents, you'll equally have a relationship with your spouse, you'll equally have a relationship with your children and with your brothers, with your friends. Yeah, so it spans very wide. Now, why is it very important in our well-being, in our wellness? It's simply because relationships have a very strong influence on, they can either drain us or they can fuel us. Okay. So whichever relationship you have, whether it is, um, as I said, wide a wide array as it is, each of those can either fuel you or drain you. Does it mean then you disappear from them? It's not like you'll be able to disappear from everything. You'll disappear. Can you really disappear from your children even if they're draining you? You can't. Yeah. So at the end of the day is to try and see how then do we navigate our relationships and how do we navigate to live better. um, and it's very key and important to know who you are, and to also know that sometimes our relationships, the other person, it may be influenced by their childhood experiences. Very, very big on that. There are theories that have said that your childhood experiences also go into your adult attributes and the way you view relationships. For example, if you were in a childhood that was very secure, there was a lot of attachment. It's called the attachment theory. There was a lot of attachment and it was very secure. When you're an adult, you form these very close relationships with your friends, with your spouses. You are always there for them. You feel like you're there to give, and you expect the same. It's very the problem or the conflict comes when probably you are with someone who their attachment was maybe in their childhood experience, they had either a trauma or they were very detached. So the parents were not very consistent in being there or in being present. So it was neither, they never felt the attachment and then they never felt the detachment. They were just there. So if you have that, then in an adult relationship, you'll end up being more independent. You will actually value independence over intimacy. So you can imagine if you're together with someone who is secure and grew up in a very secure environment and they are used to this closeness, and for you you'd rather just leave me alone, let me handle myself when there's a conflict. So at the end of the day, is knowing how to navigate, because you can't avoid, all of us grew up in different places. You can't avoid, and you can't now, when you meet someone, you don't just start asking, how was your childhood? Then now it determines whether you'll get together or not. So at the end of the day, it's how to navigate, and knowledge is power. The good book says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So if you have knowledge, then you have the power to know how to handle yourself and how to handle the relationships around you. So relationships are very key. And that's all I wanted to say, that relationships are key. Building on them is very key. And do you know your relationship can determine whether you uh, lose weight or add weight? Yeah, because again, it depends on what you're cooked for or what the other person likes being cooked for, and that is what you end up eating.
So,
So,
what I'm hearing from you,
what,
sorry to interrupt, what I'm hearing from you is that uh, in terms of our wellness and our health, even as we are planning towards it, we need to also reflect back and look at our relationships, and we need to work on them or analyze them in a way so that we can know what kind of relationship we are in, so that we know how to go about planning for our wellness, if I have heard you correct.
exactly? Actually, you've brought it out so well, because what I wanted to make sure that I bring out is that it is a primary food. It is something that determines the secondary. These things that we say, eat well, exercise, I call those ones, we term them as secondary foods. Those are a result of something else. But behind that eating well, behind that physical activity, there's something else that is underlying. Yeah. there's something else down here that needs to be sorted out. And then once you eat well, everything else then blossoms. Because you can lose weight, you can be there going to the gym all the time, but your relationships, probably even with your children are stressing you sick. You still, it becomes a cycle, a ripple effect that just goes round and round. So yes,
Mm.
that is what I mean. Yeah.
Ah,
And
okay, that is enlightening, and we never get to hear so much about this. And
mm,
what, in terms of learning more, what what tips will you give us? What are there hacks, or do we have to go to a coaching class, or do we have to go to a school to find out about this?
So because we are innately very social and we were created like that, there are hacks. But with life, sometimes you need coaching, you need navigation, you need guidance, you need someone to bring one and two together, and then you're like, voila, this is what has happened. So there are others who may need coaching, and I encourage that very much. People should not feel shy about it, especially in our African setting. I like this Wellness Achievers Africa. So bringing it to Africa, sometimes we don't believe in coaching, but I think it's about time we embrace it. It's just for someone to take you through it, someone you trust, and there are wellness coaches out there, there are counselors out there, there are life coaches out there who can help you in that. But then the hacks that maybe I can say for today, one thing is that there our connection, the things we look for in connection are about five. We look for love, we look for friendship, we look for intimacy, we look for, well, for the adults, we look for sex, and we also look for, you know, belonging. Unfortunately, we want one person to give us all that, which may not be very possible. So if my spouse can give me all the rest, of course he should be your friend, or she should be your friend. You should be intimate, you should have sex, you should have touch. Touch is also very important, and friendship. But they may not give me all that, especially the friendship part. Those are gaps that need to be filled. And the friendship is always built on, your fellow gender. Women would have female friends, and when that is created very well, you find that it is also very easy to give the love back to your spouse. When men have male friends and they go out, when they say we are going for boys thing, they always come back happier, and they are willing to give that love that has been filled inside them, to give it then again to their spouse. So it's very important to know that you may not get everything from one person, but of course, doing it in a very morally right way. Of course, you shouldn't look for probably intimacy and the rest from someone who's not your spouse. But friendship is very important, and you can get it. You can look for love from your parents, that you can eventually give it to your children. uh, Friendships that you form with your colleagues can still end up, you come home happier, you're bubbly, there's someone you have spoken to, and you're in a better position again to give. Because once you come back home, you still have to give. And when you go back to the office, you have to give. So again, whatever is at home, you're filled with it, the love, the intimacy, the touch, and everything. And when you go back to work, you're also very happy. So you again give, so it becomes a cycle, and you're in this state of happiness. You're just smiling, smiling. It's nice. It's nice.
Mm, mm. Ah, that's very good. So now that someone has been watching and they're like, oh, maybe I'm having a challenge with my wellness because I need to work on my relationships. What are we
Mm,
saying? Are we saying that we go back and reflect on our relationship, maybe do a bit of journaling, write something down, and come up with a plan, or leave that relationship and start a new one? Like what kind of advice off the cuff would you give someone who is really, really determined in the next few days as we start a new year to achieve wellness in their own lives?
Um, okay. The truth is, um, in this life, in this current world, love is so rare. It is rare to get friendships.
Okay, we are having an issue here, kidogo, and I am trying to sort it out. I don't know what is happening. Technology is sorry, Edna, we were cut off. Technology happens. Sorry, please continue where you had left off.
Yeah, so I was saying, love and friendship in this world is very rare. It's actually very rare. So once you get a friendship, please just build on it. Um, because it's rare to get it. It's very scarce. It's one of the scarcest commodity, maybe I would say, in the world right now, love and friendship. So once you get it, build on it. I wouldn't advocate for people to just leave. Build on it, work it out, navigate through it, reflect on it. Sometimes you need time. Time really does a lot. So sometimes just take time, reflect on it. If you need coaching, go for coaching. If you need counseling, go for counseling. If you need to talk about it. But at least try make it work. Because once you leave, starting is not an easy thing again. So does that make you well? Does that give you wellness? No, it doesn't. So unless it is something very, severe that, you really can't handle, your life is in danger or something like that, or, it's getting worse and worse, then maybe. But then I would encourage people to just build. It makes you happier when things become better. It will make you, it has less change in it. And it it just brings out a good you, and you will know that you tried. Yeah, just try. If it becomes too much, if of course I don't advocate for violence, yeah, um it's tough. I really feel for children who are in very violent um homes or environments, because then it really affects them as adults and they can't live. That's the sad thing about children. They can't live, they can't do nothing. And I also feel for them when probably they are being abused, physically abused. I really don't like that. um, if you see a child being physically abused and it's not okay, I think we have helplines now that people can call just to save that child's life and their future. But as an adult, you have choices to make. I believe people can make right choices. And that's when probably you need now to invoke the guidance of, the Bible, if you're a Christian, um, and any other authority there that you believe in, and friends, and try to work it out, and counselors. Yeah. So once we have good relationships, I honestly believe in this world, if we have people who give love, um, and sincerely and deeply and truly focus on it, it changes everything. It makes you exercise better. How many times have you, let's say maybe you and I, because I know you, how many times have you been stressed about your child? When you're stressed about your child, do you even cook well? No. Would you even like feel like, nah, I want to go exercise? It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. But if everything else is fine, children are happy, Nini, you're just okay. You find you're ready and willing to take up things. So
Yeah.
just look at them, focus on them, build them, um, retreat, think about them, try to make them work, and don't hide them under the bushel, like under the bed, just hiding them down there, because again they'll affect you. Um, but try try working it out and be have a conscious. Your conscience should be right. Whatever decision you make, you should be okay and comfortable with it.
Fantastic. Today I've learned a lot.
Mm,
Some few light bulbs have gone off in my head, and I'm sure the people who watch will also reflect back. At the end of the day, it's not about just this is what we are saying. At the end of the day, it's for you to reflect back and think, does this apply to me, or maybe what Dr. Edna is saying is not real. And when you actually think back towards maybe some few pivotal moments in life, you realize that maybe relationships affected your wellness in one way or another. So it's something that we need to talk about more. I'm sure you have mentioned in passing many, many, many things that I think we should plan to go back and discuss better. And of course, if there are any questions, I think people should send them in so that at least we can discuss with guidance. What do you think?
mm. Yeah, definitely. We are willing to answer questions and and see how to help people. Again, at the end of the day, the good thing about wellness, I always say it's because I've worked where I am the doctor telling you take Panadol. When that is the case, the doctor has all the control. It is what I say you must do. But wellness, it's the person, it's the other person. As a wellness doctor, the other person, the client, the patient, has most of the answers because it's about taking control and taking charge of your life. So we are here to just give the guidance. We don't have all the answers. The answers actually lie within yourself. We're just here to just, point it out. So bring the questions, and then we ask the right questions to then evoke the right answer actually from yourself. Yeah.
Ah, and finally, so many times I've thought wellness is about diet and exercise. Today, I have seen a new aspect, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what else would you mention in passing for those who are thinking maybe this is the end and there's nothing more to learn. Is there any more to learn about wellness, even as we try to take care of ourselves?
Yes. Wellness is so big. It's actually one of it's the biggest area in health. Yeah. It is really, really huge. Wellness is not just about eating, or doing physical activity. Those are the secondary things. I went to study, and I studied in Institute of Integrative Nutrition. So when I went into the school to become a wellness coach, I thought I'm just going to learn about diets because I thought, I mean, I know everything about medicine. So let me just learn about which diets people should take, nutrition. And I entered in, and guys, we are being taught about career, about relationship. We are being taught about things like education, joy. And it made a lot of sense because the idea is there are things which are primary and there are things which are secondary. The primary is what helps you build onto the secondary, which is we have been focusing on the secondary, but there are things that are underlying. So let's start with what I've talked about, relationship. Very key in helping you to your secondary in what you eat and how you exercise and your health generally. Second, joy. If you don't have joy and if you don't know what gives you joy, then again, you're not well. Career, very, very important. How many of us have felt like the day is just horrible because you feel you're in a career that you don't like? And because your day is horrible, you go to ice cream, or you're like, let me take a packet of crepes. You go and binge eat, or take a lot of alcohol or something like that, smoke. So at the end of the day, there are causative things that make you either become well or not. And that is part of wellness. So career, education, again. So if you feel like you don't have enough education for the skills that you're doing, you probably have a skill, but your education is not up, then again it affects you and affects your well-being. The other thing is like spirituality. Spirituality is also part of wellness. At the end of the day, again, WHO standards. Being health is not the absence of disease. It is your physical, mental, spiritual, social, financial well-being. Yeah. So again, finances. Finances is part of wellness. We call it financial wellness, and I know now it is starting to come up. Um, Knowing how to budget for your home, how to do your own personal budget, how to budget for holidays, how to budget for savings, how do you, all those things affect especially finances. Some people get sick when they don't have money. So again, really affects your wellness. Another thing that affects your wellness, believe it or not, your home environment. It is so key. Did you know the color that you choose, say for your sitting room or your bedroom, really does have some, some influence in how well you will sleep or how well you'll feel in that house. There are different colors that evoke different feelings. So your home environment is very important. If you have a lot of clutter, your home is in a mess, and then you decide to, there are people who on Sundays or Saturdays, they decide they're washing their houses. That day you feel so nice, so fresh. That simply means that your environments matter, whether at home or in the office or wherever it is you are. So all those things matter. And then cooking, home cooking also matters. So these are things we can discuss, and I'm willing to talk about them, but in just small, small bits. It will not be in detail. I think details will be for later. And for those who may want the details, then you'll let me know how to do it. But for now, I just want to let we I just feel like we need to bring them out and to let people live a world of happiness. Yeah.
Hmm. I absolutely, absolutely agree. And I am so looking forward to all these things, to learning all these things, and to apply them in my life so that at least even as we are moving towards a new year 2022, which all of us are very excited about, we are moving towards it intentionally in all the aspects which you have mentioned, like home environment, our spirituality, our career. Now is when we are thinking and reflecting on our lives. And so, at least if you give us some guidance, I think we can make better decisions going forward. And even those, they are called what, the resolutions we make, I think we will tend to stick to them if we apply the knowledge you're giving, not just, oh, I'll exercise more, or oh, I'll dream more, I'll do this more. But if we do it in a wholesome way, I think we are bound to keep more of our resolutions. Yeah, so thank you so much. That means that we have a lot in store. You have a lot
Yeah.
in store for us. So we are really looking forward to tomorrow so that we can see what we are going to learn and apply.
Thank you. I'm so grateful. And by the way, Corona is real. You've seen the Omicron, so guys, please, they just need to mask up.
Yeah, the numbers are going
Yeah.
up. So mask up, eat healthy, stay safe, social distance, wash hands. How important is
Yes,
washing hands and drink water? You know.
super, super important.
Mm.
Steam if you can. Yeah.
Sawa sawa. Thank you so much for what we have learned. Let's not finish everything for tomorrow. And I hope, guys, you're going to join us again for tomorrow. I hope, Daktari, you'll still join us as we do day
Yes,
3.
yes, I'm committed. 12 days, 12 days of
Mm.
Christmas, 12 days of
Yay!
wellness. I'm
Yes, 12
committed.
days of wellness. Sawa. Asante sana. Say hi to your family and hope to see you tomorrow, same time on Alia. And thank you also, everyone who was able to join us. And we hope that we're going to see you tomorrow. As you can see, this is a jam packed, very wonderful session. And there we are learning a lot. And hopefully, you're going to share with your friend, your colleague, your loved ones. And today, please make sure you work on your relationships so that at least we are not just giving lip service, we are actually applying what we are learning. So until next time, I hope to see you. Bye bye. 12 days of wellness. Please apply with us, and we hope that at the end of this, we're going to make a difference in your life. So, Asante Sana, we'll see you next time, which is tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.